Hi everyone and welcome to the Power Platform show. Today we have Mohammad from Nubia Solutions. He's based in Jordan currently, but we talk a lot about a pharmaceutical app he built in Iraq that totally changed the way their pharmaceutical company engaged with doctors in that region. He's now gone on and built an ISV solution on the Power Platform using various elements or the technologies of the Power Platform that he sells around the world, with that product being on App Store. So I really wanted to explore his journey and the adoption of technology in his region. Full show notes for this episode can be found at nz365guy.com/218. Now, let's get on with the show. Hello, Mohammad. Welcome to the Power Platform show.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for this opportunity and thanks for having me on this show. It's a privilege for me.
Well, it's going to be a privilege for me, I assure you, because I think you've got a very interesting story with your journey with the Power Platform and particularly what you've done. And so it'd be great just to spend the next period of time to discuss what you've done, what you've achieved, and how you've adopted the Power Platform for your customers and the various projects you've worked on.
Yeah.
That sounds good?
Yeah, that's good.
Excellent. So first of all, tell me a bit about yourself.
Well, let's say I started my studies I graduated as a pharmacist from the University of Jordan back in 2002. And I started my career in pharmacy in our region. We have different opportunities, either to work in a pharmacy or in the pharmaceutical promotion with the pharmaceutical companies, to go to the doctors, promote their products, or in the manufacturing side. So I went to the promotion and started as a medical rep, going to promote these products to the doctors. And during the career, I went into product specialist, then to business unit manager, product manager, and eventually as a sales and marketing manager.
Mm-hmm.
That was until back in 2019, last year.
Yeah, last year, not long.
Yeah.
Okay, and so tell me, where did I know you built a big solution for the pharmaceutical industry. What country was that built in, and what was the goals of what you built?
Yeah, my last job was in a company called Hawkari in Iraq. They are one of the biggest distributors of pharmaceutical products there. First, I was the product manager there, and what I noticed what our need was when the medical reps and the sales reps go to the pharmacy or go to the doctors and they promote our products, eventually at the end of the day, they have to send their report. What doctors they visited, what products they talked about, what kind of objections we got from the doctors. All of these interactions, they have to report it back to the management. And the process previously was they used to send their reports using Excel sheets sent over an email. And we have over some managers or some supervisors have between 10 to 15, and the sales and marketing manager have reporting underneath him around 50 medical reps. So going through all of these emails and going through all of these Excel sheets will be a nightmare. And so if you read it now, you got the information. If you don't read it, you lost it. In the email, the managers, they don't have all of this time to review these emails. So sometimes they just grab some Excel sheets, they read them, and that's it. So they will not get the full information about the market, the feedback from the market. And also, at the end of the month or at the end of the year, they will not have any kind of analysis of these reports and what was the management, what was the performance of these reps, the average visits per day, how they were covering their customers list. So they don't have any kind of analysis over that. So I thought we need some kind of database to record these actions or these reports. So whenever we need to go back to these reports, we simply just open the app, see what happened, read it, and close it, and it will stay for the company. So I thought my company didn't want to invest a lot in. We know that there are some vendors providing some CRM systems and something like that, and we know at that time it was very expensive. So I thought of some simple solution inside the company. I thought about access. It's available, and I thought it might do something. And at that time, the Access web apps were still living.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I started with it, and I started with this very simple thing. I just created two or three tables: the report, the users, and the medical rep just enters in, fill in the report, and the report is there. So I thought, why don't I just improve it a little bit? As I started recording also the whatever marketing activities that we have, the coaching reports for the supervisors when they go on double visits with the medical reps. They record also how much skills these medical reps, they evaluate their skills and they monitor their skills. So I started adding more and more functionalities to this app. But unfortunately, Access Web Apps at the end, I think, of 2016 to beginning of 2017, they retired the Access Web Apps. And Microsoft started promoting the Power Apps. And actually, before they started, I saw when I subscribed for a trial for Office 365, I saw the Power Apps, and I thought this might be the future of my app. But I will stick now for the Access Web App because I started working on it and the interface was now ready and the reps are working on it. I was happy with it for that time. But unfortunately, we had to move on with the Power Apps.
So, what was the key point when you discovered the Power Platform and PowerApps? Was that from your Office 365 subscription, or did someone from Microsoft talk to you about it? How did you find out about it?
Yeah, from the Office 365 subscription. Yeah, I started with the trial with the Access Web Apps. When I saw it's really valuable. I started the subscription, and I noticed there are lots of services included with the subscription, which we previously didn't know about it. We in the region always know about Office 365 Office. We all know Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and that's it. The desktop apps. But we didn't know the value of the cloud services that are there. OneDrive, the Skype for Business, and Teams. There is a whole bunch of services. We're all SharePoint, which are all available almost for free with a very simple subscription. And Power Apps and the Power Platform also are there. And with certain functionality, they are free with the subscription of Office 365. So it was an amazing for me. And I started to exploit this subscription, try to use it to the max. So moved on my reps and my teams all on Teams, and started using OneDrive, started using also the SharePoint, even the medical reps, they need to use the brochures to explain to doctors what we have, what kind of products. So we moved on to e-brochures and we bought them iPads. So we started also to use the e-detailing solution. So this opened much more opportunities, more productivity within the team, and it reflected better image for the company in front of our customers. We are using technological products, not only printed paper, which improved also our image in the market in front of our customers.
So as part of that, what was the number of staff you rolled this out to? And did you kind of switch straight away from Access Web Apps across to Power Apps, or did you only move parts of the system at a time? Like, what was your process from moving from one technology to the other?
Yeah, there was some grace time, around 3 months, I think. I remember the reps there, they kept working on the Access Web App until I finished the Power App. Then I migrated all the data from the old database to the new database. And first I used the CDS I thought it's very easy to create and very easy to manipulate. I have no back knowledge of SQL or any other kind of databases. So when I first saw also the CDS, it's very easy to use, very easy to create, very clear, and went up using it, despite the fact that the CDS 1.0 was really hard in kind of terms of performance using the Power App, and
Yes.
it was not the perfect solution and not the performance. Maybe as a database, it's very performant, but using the solution and the communication with the Power App itself, I needed to collect or to download larger sets of data, especially the list of the doctors. I have around 5,000 names of doctors. So I needed to have these records available in the app. And when we create a collection, we only have 500 records in the Power App. So this created a huge challenge, and the loading time of the app was around 1 minute, or
Wow.
exceeded 1 minute.
And so this was on CDS1.
Yes.
Which, of course, Microsoft got rid of CDS1 pretty after only about 12 months, right?
Yes,
And then moved
yes,
to
in 2018, I remember.
Yes.
And when they did that, I started exploring SQL and created the database on SQL on Azure. And when I did that, and it was the performance jumped from the loading of the app jumped from above 60 seconds to lower than 5 seconds. That was amazing, and especially the loading was. So I used the Flow, Microsoft, the Power Automate, to download or to return all of these records back to the app, which was an amazing performance jump for my app.
So it was really doctor relationship management. Is that the system you built for the pharmaceutical industry?
So, customer relationship management, but because we are dealing with doctors, I modified it into doctors relationship management and DRM as an acronym. So now in my previous company, we used it and extended also even inside my company, we have some processes that the medical reps and the supervisors need to ask for monthly stock of samples that we distribute to the doctors. So the request of the sample also, I created a special app for the request of the sample, and the output would be an HTML document that I simply print and send it to the warehouse to prepare it. So that was easier for the reps also and easier for me. Previously, they should also fill it in an Excel sheet. There was some kind of mistakes in the names of the products, missing data. Sometimes when we send it to the warehouses, they send it back to us. Please explain us what type of product is this. So there was some kind of wasting some time or something like that.
That makes sense. So of the technologies, when you decided to adopt the Power Platform and build the DRM system, what were the specific apps that, as in, did you use Microsoft Flow, Common Data Service you've mentioned, PowerApps, anything else?
Yeah, I used the PowerApps, first of all, and Power Automate. I use it to automate some notifications. When a medical rep posts their report, there will be a notification for the supervisor, for the manager, that this med rep sent their report. Also, every day, I would send a reminder for the reps if they did not send their report for yesterday, for example. But if they already sent it, I would send an email thanking them for their compliance. Also, the Power BI, I created a full dashboard to follow up on the KPIs. I started to put some KPIs, for example, to put certain limit on the average daily visits, the compliance to sending their reports, coverage of the doctors, the frequency of the visits, and some kind of all of that on Power BI. During the journey, I used CDS, I used SQL on Azure. This is most of it. Sometimes we use SharePoint, sometimes we use also the OneDrive for sharing documents, Teams for sharing some kind of ideas, for kind of feedback about the app. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So just let me understand a bit. You were doing everything in the cloud from Iraq. Where's the closest data center that you use of Microsoft?
I think the closest one is in Europe.
Okay, so you use a European data center and all your cloud data was stored in that location. Okay, that makes sense to me. So what was the benefits to the organization when, what were the outcomes of what you'd done with this implementation?
The outcomes were there were more streamlined processes. We had a unified database for the result or for recording all the actions of the medical reps, all of the interactions from the doctors to our activities. So all stored in one database. And that also, as I said, improved the quality of the skills of the reps, which improved our image in front of our customers, the doctors, the pharmacists. And at the end of the year, I ended up with 110% closing my target of sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good outcome.
Yeah. That's eventually the ultimate need for the management, that you achieve your target.
Yeah. That's very impressive. So you're currently no longer, was that Hawker Pharmaceuticals that you're with then, did I hear?
Yeah, how
What
carry.
Halkeri
Yeah.
was the pharmaceutical company. And so after that project was finished, what came next? Where did you move? What did you get up to?
Yeah, when I started this, I thought there are a lot of companies like Hawkari that are not using this kind of solutions, and they are still using either paperwork, or Excel sheets and something like that. So I saw an opportunity in the market that maybe I can sell this solution to these companies. So I started my own company, Nubis Systems. Yeah. And now I am promoting my solution. We face some kind of bumps, this pandemic now, and we hope it finishes soon.
Yes.
Despite the opportunity this pandemic is creating for the cloud and for the technology, but also the effect on the economy, it's holding the companies from spending more at this time.
Interesting.
But the idea, and on the long run, I think the opportunity is much higher than the previous times.
So tell us about Nubis and what is the products you've created there? Is it an extension of what you learned there around doctor relationship management? And who are your customers that are now buying the technology?
Yeah, essentially it's the same products mainly, and the DRM itself. And now I even updated it on CDS 2.0, and it's a model-driven app now, not a Canvas app.
Okay, so you started at Canvas and you moved over to model driven.
Yes, now it's a model-driven, and with backed up also with Power Automate and Power BI reports. Another solution I'm now, during this pandemic, we have the lockdown. It gave me the idea, and it forced for the need for telecommunication or tele-detailing.
Okay.
I created an e-detailing solution for the reps to use either in the clinic, or they can use, for example, Microsoft Teams, and they can open this solution and make a call yani, while the rep in his home and the doctor is in his home, for example. They can make the communication, and the medical rep can present their product to the doctors from a remote place, not necessarily in the clinic. Because during the lockdown and there were no clinics, so it's a very good idea to have a backup solution that we don't miss the communication with the doctors for a long period. So now I'm building it, and I think it will make a good solution.
So, to use Teams and to do video calls, with the doctors, between the sales reps and the doctors, that generally requires good internet connection. In the regions that you're selling, do you have that good quality internet that they can have video, or is it just more voice, and do you do presentations? How's that from a technological infrastructure perspective?
Yeah, in most of the time, yeah, we have good infrastructure, especially in Jordan. Most of the users are on their phones, they have now 4G. In the houses, some areas have fiber now, and fiber internet connections. And even if they don't have fiber, they have the ADSL, and the speeds are very, very good in most of the cases. Let's say in more than 80% of the users have very good connections. But in other regions, like in Iraq, I think the infrastructure is not that good. They have lots of disconnectivity due to the instability in the country there, and they have some areas have good infrastructure, like in the north in Kurdistan, but in the south in Baghdad and the other south areas, they don't have that stable, let's say, service.
So when you built that original app, were you based in Jordan or were you based in Iraq?
No, I was based in Iraq.
Okay. So after you've established your company, you decided to move that to Jordan. Was that the case?
Yes, Jordan is much more stable, and despite it's a small country, but in terms of trade also, it has the access to all the region is much easier from Jordan to the Gulf, to Egypt, to Iraq also. Even for Iraq, Jordan is the lung of Iraq, or for some sort of trade reasons.
So with the app you've built now, are you getting a lot of interest in it? Is all the interest coming from around your region? How are you marketing it and selling it at the moment?
I have it approved on App Source now, yeah, which made a high credibility for the app.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank God for that. And I am approaching all my friends and all my connections in the pharmaceutical companies now. There are lots of interest, and the process takes a lot of time, and also this pandemic made some kind of interest, but they are still constrained from the budget wise, and they are still waiting until this pandemic ends, and or when this year ends, to have some kind of new budget, to spare some budget for this kind of project.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So how heavily has the pandemic affected your region? Like, I'm in New Zealand at the bottom of the globe.
Yeah.
And it's affected our country differently than other countries, whether it be Europe or America. But in your region, what has been the impact?
In Jordan, the impact is, as in the number of cases, is relatively very low. These days, we are registering less than 5 cases per day as an average. But the government reaction was really strict. And from the beginning of the pandemic, back in March, they started the strict lockdown, and all of the businesses, there were curfew and complete lockdown for almost 40 days or 45 days. Then after that, they started gradually releasing the economy. That's why we are in a good situation in the pandemic situation. But the countries all around us, in Iraq, in Saudi, in Egypt, even Palestine, they all entered in some kind of second wave because because they opened their economies earlier than usual, and they were releasing, or not, the people there, they were not very cooperative in terms of, for example, wearing the masks, the physical distancing, which exploded the situation again, and they are now in bad situation. But thankfully, Jordan, no, the situation is very good until now, and we hope it stays this way and it finishes soon, inshallah.
Yeah, yeah. So just back to DRM, if people want to take a look at the app and see if is it specifically for pharmaceutical companies to sell to doctors? Is that the specific target audience for it?
Yes, it's very, very customized to the pharmaceutical companies because the process is very clear. The medical reps go to doctors, promote these products, and report back to the management. So this is a very clear process that the other companies don't have this kind of process. And the difference also that the doctor is not some kind of a lead and finishes as a contract or something like that. The doctor is always there, and we always promote our product to them. We either continue our relationship with them with new information or new products. That's the difference between the pharmaceutical business and other businesses, especially the B2B businesses.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. And I'm just looking at it now. I can see DRM Power App by Nubia Systems Technology up on App Source. So it's great. You got screenshots, a lot of information around the metric side of things and the availability. Are you selling through other Microsoft partners, or are you selling direct to the customer?
No, I'm selling direct to the customers.
Excellent. That's very good. Looking forward, what are your plans for the app after the pandemic is over?
My vision actually goes beyond DRM, and here in the region, what I saw that most of the companies, most of the businesses, they are not using certified or subscriptions, either Microsoft or other products. They are always going for the free products or sometimes even the pirated versions of the product. So they are not getting the full benefit of, I'm saying, the Office 365. So especially I'm taking it, especially the DRM, for the pharma businesses as a beginning. As the horse of Troy, once I get in this company, I want to maximize on the Power Platform in their company, because they will have licenses of Office 365 with it and PowerApps. So when I have a relationship with these customers, I will also offer them the opportunity to convert all of their processes, paper processes or other legacy processes, to make it on the cloud and to make it on the Power Platform, and either with training or I can provide to them solutions on the Power Apps and Power Platform. So digitizing and making a digital transformation for them, trying to also to combine the making a cultural change, combine it with the digital transformation journey. This can make the digital transformation succeed. Without some kind of mindset change, it's useless. It's just some tools that are available. If you don't have the mindset to use it and to maximize the benefit out of it, it's useless.
So I do notice that the app looks like it's of what I can see is all in English. Do you do it in other languages as well?
I plan to have an Arabic version out of it and also French. I will try, because there are some countries here and they are francophone, like Lebanon, in North Africa, Algeria, and Morocco. These countries, the second language after Arabic is French. I have in mind to have an Arabic, and despite the Arabic, in our business, we are mainly using English because our second language is English, and most of the pharmacists or the medical reps, they graduated and they studied all of their higher studies in English. So the English language is very good here, and it can suffice at least for now.
Yeah. I would expect there'd be high demand across the top of North Africa. I've been to Eritrea, and I mean their language is Tigrinian, which is different again, but still they speak Arabic, of course, and English as well. Yeah, I mean I had no problem with my English there, and heck, that was 20 odd years ago. So, okay, so this sounds like lots of opportunity. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I always like to finish the show or wrap up the show with a couple of random quick-fire questions. So are you ready for your random questions?
Just take it easy on me.
I'll take it easy. And if you don't have an answer, you can just say pass, okay?
Okay.
Okay, would you rather hear the good news first or the bad news?
The good news.
Okay, what chance encounter changed your life forever?
I think the introduction to Power Platform has changed a lot of inside me, and it flipped over my career. You see that?
I like it. Yeah. I like it. What's one accomplishment you're most proud of?
Maybe the satisfaction of when I left Hawkari, the satisfaction with my team and the love that was there between me and my team, and you feel this. It's a loss, and I miss them a lot, actually. That's the main thing.
That's very good. That's very good. Yeah. Have you been told you look like somebody famous?
Yes, there is an Arabic Egyptian singer. When I was young, they always told me, you look familiar, you look familiar. And some of them, you look like Ihab Tawfiq, it's called Ihab Tawfiq.
Yeah. One last question. If you could only have 5 apps on your mobile phone, what would they be if you only had 5 apps?
Outlook, number 1.
Yep.
And I'm using more Teams also.
Okay, yeah.
I have to look at my phone. To remember.
Yeah.
LastPass and Authenticator.
Yeah, same with me. Wow, that's excellent. Mohammad, it's been great having you on the show. If people want to check out your business, the apps you're building, or social media, where can they find you? What's the websites they should go to?
LinkedIn, also my Nubia systems, Nubia. Also, I have a company page there on LinkedIn, on Twitter, also on Facebook. I'm available there.
Hey, thanks for joining me again. Hopefully you learned more about the Power Platform. And the show notes, as I said before, can be found at nz365guy.com/218. I'm your host, Business Application MVP, Mark Smith, otherwise known as the NZ365 Guy. If you know somebody that you think would make a great guest, has a good story to tell around the Power Platform, I'd love them to have them on the show. Please reach out to me. The best way to get hold of me is to private message me on LinkedIn. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.